Hello.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, and wonderful night. I'm Nahil Forest Wali and I'm delighted to welcome all of you here today. We have the privilege of having a very esteemed guest with us today, someone who is making a significant impact in the field of education. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sharon. Ms. Sharon, it is an honor to have you here with us. We are eager to learn more about your life journey and the inspiring work you are doing. Let's delve into our conversation and discover the incredible experiences and insights you have to share. So, thank you so much. Welcome,
Thank you.
Miss Sharon. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Okay, my name is Makinde Sharon Erioluwa. I'm from Nigeria and I'm an SDG 4 advocate, that's quality education advocate. I'm a personal development enthusiast and I'm a lover of books. I love reading and I'm born to inspire and as I am aspiring to become who I want to become. That's a short introduction.
Okay, that's awesome. So, my first question is that can you tell us more about your passion for seeing a change in Nigeria's education system? What specific changes would you like to see?
So here in Nigeria, our education system or educational system, as I don't want to use the word limited, but it's not as advanced as we see in many countries of the world. So that's how I knew that it was when I got so much exposure probably through social media. That's when I found out that educational system is actually limited. There's a limit to which we are getting to, not just in Nigeria, in Africa majorly. So there's a limit to what we are able to access. There are even children that are not even going to school. So like some people, education is not even important, it's not necessary to them. That they even opt for other options like learning a skill instead of going to school to be educated. Some parents are not even interested in their child being educated. So the mentality here has not taken education importantly. Like even the government don't take education seriously. So when I realized this that this is a problem, I saw it that wait, we actually need to realize it that this is a problem that we need to tackle. So when I saw the way people in the other countries take or in the other parts of the world take the educational system, that's when I realized that there's a lot of problem that we're dealing with in this particular educational system. So what exactly do I want to see? What would I like to see? I would like to see an educational system that is so advanced. Like, I don't know if they do this in your school, but so far, I usually hear that they hold science fairs in some countries, they hold different pichathons, they hold different research programs for students, but they don't do things like that here. So when I realized that, okay, wait, they're actually doing this and they're not doing this, that means there's a problem somewhere. Because I can see that in many of these countries, they take this as a method of learning for the children, practical learning, hands-on learning, where they even put like they actually make the thing they want to see. Like it's not just about teaching theory, but actually they are seeing what the teacher or the lecturer is talking about, even through practical means. That's when I knew that since they don't do that here, that's when I knew okay, there's a problem. And when they can change this, that's when I knew that there's going to be a change in the educational system.
Okay, thank you for sharing your thoughts. So, how do you believe reading and sharing knowledge can contribute to the empowerment of education?
So I really like the adage. There's this adage that says that to hide something from an African man is something I would love to change. To hide something from an African man, you have to hide it in a book. I don't know if you understand that adage. It says if you want to hide something from somebody that's an African or a black, you have to hide it in a book. So that adage came from the fact that many Africans don't like reading. They don't like opening books. They don't like checking what is inside a book. And that has really limited our knowledge to a lot, like almost on every side. You see, Africa is one country that is still like trying to develop even till today, which is not meant to be. Comparing it with other parts of the world, not that does not mean we're not blessed with a lot. We are blessed with a lot that many other countries were not blessed with. But still, because they don't have the knowledge to manage all these things that we're blessed with, now we're not lacking or lagging behind. So now, when how I was able to even realize that there's a problem was when I read books. There is this book that I read, though it was was a science fiction novel. That book, when I read it, I really loved what I learned from it because I saw that there's a lot. I saw the advancements they had in other countries, which was not I did not see in my country. Like it was so many books that I've read has helped me see, like have a view of how other countries are like. You see, there's this saying that says you travel the world even through books. I've not gone out of my country, Nigeria, but I have gone far beyond Nigeria, even through the books that I have read. So that's why I really advise that everybody should always engage or inculcate the habit of reading books because you get so much more knowledge than any other person, even through the books you read. Same.
Okay, alright. So now let's move on to next question. Can you share an example of book or resource that has had a significant impact on your personal development? How did it influence you?
Yes, so there are two books I read that has really done a lot of things like, and one is Educated. So I can't really remember the name of the author presently, but the name of the book is Educated. So this book was about a female or a woman that the parents' ideology don't support children going to school, like to government-owned schools, but they prefer that their children are being homeschooled. And this homeschooling, they don't even like properly teach their children at home. Where in the book was talking about the mother was the teacher, but the woman does not. She was not even educated. Like maybe she stopped at primary level, primary school. So she was one that was not teaching her children. So she had limited knowledge, but the father was not in support of that. So like sorry about the cutting transmission. So back to what I was saying. The book was Educated. So majorly what the woman did was she changed the ideology of her parents. Like she changed their narrative. So she went to a school, a university that was close to her. Like she prepared for this university's exams. She did her ACT. She prepared for the university's exam. She got into the university. Then she did so well that she was recommended by her professors to study in Oxford. Like the university she went to right from time was nothing close to Oxford. But from that, she was able to like push her parents and let her parents see that it is very, very important to be educated. It is very, very important to go to school because the way she was educated, like the exposure she had, even from being educated, was so much. Because I'm sure that people that are going to Cambridge, Oxford, Harvard, they are not just people that are like just they are not just anyhow type of students. You have to be so good to enter. Not just so good, you have to be good on every side, not just in the academic aspects, but in every other side. But because she was able to like find who she was, even through the university she was able to enter, she got into Oxford. She got recommended by if she was in her house. or with her, in her home with her parents, she might have not gone to Oxford. She might have not gone to Oxford. So that book really showed me that there's nothing there's nothing you cannot get as long as you are educated, as long as you are exposed. There's nothing you cannot achieve. There's nothing you cannot achieve. But because even from the book, the woman did not even know she was going to have the opportunity of studying in Oxford. She said that she was even battling with imposter syndrome. And this book is a memoir. So it was a true life story of that woman. So it was a memoir. So that really showed that the woman was even saying she could not believe it that she could get into Oxford just like that. So definitely there's nothing I cannot achieve as long as I'm educated, as long as I can dream it, as long as I have the knowledge. There's nothing I can't achieve. Another book I read is Malala. Malala has really helped. I'm sure you know Malala. So Malala's book has really helped me in terms of personal development. Like when I read, there's this thing I've noticed that I've known and I've seen is that in many countries that are outside Africa, their young children are like making impact right from while they are still young. I don't know if you understand me. Like you can see a 13-year-old or making impact, doing something beautiful, doing something nice, and you be like, wait, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. What's going on? So like I read Malala's book and I saw the way Malala was reasoning, even while she was still young. She was reasoning like a change maker. She was thinking like somebody that wants to make impact. So Malala's book has really helped me to see that no matter how much, like no, it does not have to be one big thing for it to make impact. You can start with something little. You can start with what you have. You can use that thing to make the impact you want to see. So those are the two books that have really helped me on both sides.
Okay, great. So, thank you for sharing an amazing answer. So, my next question is that what steps have you taken so far to help children access quality education? Can you tell us about any projects or initiatives you have been involved in?
So majorly, um, I volunteer for organizations, and there is this particular organization I volunteer for. The name of the organization is Slum to School Africa. So our major goal there is to help 10 million children in Africa to be able to access education. And so far, we are still in the process of doing it. We have been able to impact so many lives. So far, we have been able to impact so many lives. Like there's a lot they are doing. There's a lot this particular organization is doing. They have been able to impact about I think 1 million children so far. So they have been able to do so much, and I'm so happy to be a part of like to be a volunteer in that organization. And also there's another thing I did like towards that was in 2022. A little thing was a little thing though. So there were some children that were out of school in my environment. What I just did was like I brought them together and I taught them for about 3 months. I taught them what they should be taught in the school. And now presently, most of them are in school. Most of them are back in school because I think when I taught these children, it really helps their parents to see that it is necessary for their children to go to school. Because I did not like the way I saw most of them sitting at home, like they were in my environment. So what I just did was I brought them together. I gathered them together. I said, okay, let me see what I can do. I should be able to do something. I'm not so young. I know a lot. Not that I know so much, but at least I know some things that I can teach you. So I'm sure their parents were impressed by that and they helped their children get back to school. So these are the things I'm volunteering for organizations and I'm doing the little thing I can do. And I'm raising awareness on this problem. This problem that there are a lot of children out of school. Because there was some I was doing research one time and I found out that there are about 20 million children out of school here in Nigeria, not in Africa, in Nigeria. So that's a lot of children. And many people don't see it as people just think of that 20 million as a cliche, like it's not true. But it is very, very true. 20 million children are out of school. So when we raise so much, I've been able to raise like awareness on this problem that to let everybody see it that wait, this is a problem that needs to be tackled. And thank God, many people are now opening their eyes to see it as a problem, and we are working towards finding lasting solution to this problem.
Alright, great. So, how do you envision working with others advocates to make the goal of quality education a reality? What collaborative efforts do you think are needed?
So presently, one thing that is important in this part of policy education is that it's not just based on what is being taught in school. It's based on being exposing these children to every sphere of education. Goal setting is included. Goal setting is included. Personal development is included. It's included. It's a part of the curriculum. It's not just being taught maths, English, physics, chemistry, biology, arts. Like it's not just that. It covers every sphere. So majorly, presently I'm even working with an organization, Project Climate. So this organization is very much interested in raising awareness on climate change and teaching students. They go for outreaches and they show students these are the things they can do to make a change in their environment in terms of climate change. So majorly I work with this organization because I can see that almost every like in almost every country this problem of climate change is taken into consideration, like very important. Like it's very important. It's something that they are really fighting with. Young children are really tackling. But yeah, most people don't take climate change as something so special. Like they just see it as a normal thing. Like just they don't even I don't most people don't even know what climate change is. That's how it is. Most children don't even know what climate change is. So this organization do, there's a student-led organization. So what they do immediately is to go on outreaches, teach the children on what climate change is, teach them what they can do to help the environment, teach them like flowers they can plant, teach them how they can make use of their waste products like their plastics, what they can make out of the plastics, different type of things that they can make and they can even use in their classrooms. So that is what the organization does majorly. It just goes out to teach children, let them know, let them know that they are change makers, let them know what they can do in their environment. So that is one organization I'm presently partnering with, which is not just on the education, but this is climate education. Yes, that's the right word. Climate education. So majorly I work with the organization presently.
All right. So my next question is that what challenges do you anticipate in your journey of discovering your own potential? How do you plan to overcome those challenges?
So actually this particular question really got me thinking because there's a lot in this part of discovering best passion, like becoming who you are meant to be or discovering your potentials. There's a lot because at times when I'm just like, oh, I have a lot to do, I have this to do, I have that to do, like I have, let's say, a meeting to attend or something. I just get at times I get tired because or I'll get bored. It's interesting, though. At times, it's always so good, so nice, so like so interesting to make the impact. But there are times where I just get tired and be like, "Oh, I just want to rest or a space for myself." But I know that if I don't make that impact, if I don't do that, who will do it? Nobody. So why will I just sit down resting when some people are suffering for it? So I can't just sit down and just relax because some people will suffer for that relaxation. So what I just do, maybe this part of discovering my potential is just keep at it. Just keep working hard. Like just keep working hard. It will still be there's a time where the time for relaxation will still come. There's a time for everything. So the time for relaxation will still come. I just have to keep at it. I just have to like continue. Just continue. And another challenge is when I see young children, I see this a lot, like a lot. Young children that are younger than me, and I see what they are doing, like the big things they are doing. You can just see one being sponsored by one organization, one big, let's say United Nations. Let's say you just see one small, like it can just be a very young child or young person that is this owner of the organization or the founder of the organization, and that organization is doing so much that they get sponsored by like big organizations. So that type of thing, I'll be like, "Ah, I'm not so young now. I'm not just like a small girl. Like, what am I doing?" So those type of things just keep me thinking. I'll be like, wait, if this young children, young persons are not just sitting down doing nothing, why should I sit down and do nothing? Like I have to do something. I cannot just sit down and not do anything. Like it's not possible. When young people that are younger than I am, though I'm not old, just going to be 18 soon. But when I see young children as young as 14 doing a lot of things, why can't I just do the same? Like I can't just sit down and do nothing. So those are the things that really keep me thinking in this part of discovering my potentials. And I will discover it and I'll help others discover theirs as well.
All right. So, thank you for sharing. So, can you share a personal story or experience that has inspired your path to become the best version of yourself?
So there's this story. This story. So while I was younger, I never really like read. I don't like reading books when I was younger because what I thought was important was just reading my school books, my school textbooks. If you give me my school textbook, I will read it very well. I'll read it like very well. I read it from the first page to the last page. I would read it with all my heart. But as time went on, I realized that like some years back, that was I think last year or 2 years ago. That's when I realized the importance of reading books outside the school books. Like it's very important. In terms of exposure, books really give exposure. Like the knowledge in books is so much. I've used the adage before and I'm going to use it again, the saying again. It says you can travel the world even through books. Like I've experienced this literally, like literally experienced this. So like I've seen so much that are occurring outside the country, even through all these books. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot that are occurring outside the world, in the outside world, in the outside world. I've seen so much. So when I was younger, I don't really like books. I just read my books, my normal school books. If they did not tell, if I like when I see my friends even reading, let's say novels, some specific novels, I'll be like, how are they reading it? Like, novels are usually very big and lengthy. I'll always ask them, please, how do you read this? Like how? Because I was always surprised and I always respected them because I saw it as something very nice to do, but I cannot do it. I just cannot do it. So later I realized that when I realized this, that was like towards last year. I realized it that it's very, very important. Firstly, I started with Ben Carson books. I know you must know Ben Carson. So I started with Ben Carson's books. Then I started taking it like that. I started reading books on personal development, books on people that have done great things, books that will just inspire me to be better. So I've been able to like that really pushed me. That's one of the things that helped me to see the fact that I need to make impact in my environment, in my country. Like those are the things that have been like been a driving force for me. Books have really been a driving force. Books have been a driving force for me. It has been something that's been pushing me to be better. It has been something that's been pushing me to be the best version of myself. Books have been the thing that, and that's why I am really encouraging people to inculcate the habit of reading good books. Like it is so important. It is very, very, very important to read good books.
Thank you for sharing. So, lastly, how do you think young people like yourself can become a source of inspiration for others? What advice would you give to teenagers who are looking to make positive impact in their communities?
So one thing I know about this inspiration is that if you want to inspire others, you have to aspire. I don't know if you understand. If you want to, if you have the mind to inspire others, you yourself, you have to aspire to be better. Because it is when you aspire to be better daily, that's when people are actually watching you. When they see you becoming better day by day, day by day, day by day, they would be inspired by your progress. And if you want to make impact, if you want to make impact, just start with what you have. Just start with no matter how little. You don't have, let's say, for example, me, when I saw that there were so many children out of school, I don't have the money to put all these children in this school. I'm still young. I'm a very young child. I don't have the money to take them and put them in private owned schools or government schools. I don't have the money to provide stationaries for them. I don't have the money to provide school bags for them. I don't have the money to buy uniforms or school books. Just start with what you have. What did I do? I gathered them together and I started teaching them. At least I have a pen, I have a book. I started with what I had. I did not have so much, but I have the knowledge. I have a book and a pen, and I started with what I have. So I started teaching them. Then from there, their parents were impressed. And aside that, if you know you want to make impact, you can even volunteer for organizations that are in line with what you want to do. Presently, I'm working with Slum to School, like I said before. Now they have a greater goal: 10 million children. That's a very good thing. So volunteer with organizations that will help you achieve what you want to achieve. That's another thing I can advise. Just start with what you have, no matter how small, no matter how little. Start with what you have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your advice. And thank you so much, Ms. Sharon, for
Thank
taking the time to share your remarkable journey and insights with us today. Your dedication to empowering Nigeria's education system and your passion for empowering young minds is truly inspiring. We are very grateful for the valuable knowledge and experiences you have shared with us. Your determination to make positive impact in the lives of children and your collaborative approach to working with fellow advocates is commendable. As we conclude this interview, we want to express our appreciation for your efforts and the difference you are making in the field of education. We wish you continued success in all your endeavors and hope that your vision of quality education becomes a reality for every children. So thank you so much again. I think our internet is slow. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and thank you so much, Ms. Sharon. Best of luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.